come, they said they took this oil away. They just went and set up a refinery. Dangote did not set up a geological firm.
Yes, a very good evening to you all. My name is Daddy Chris, and I'm reaching you from SRTV desk here in London. This is a new beginning. It's a new show. You might see the same face, but you're going to see different faces on this show because this is not the same SRTV you used to know. Yes, it is State of the Nation on SRTV, and it's coming to you this evening in a very special way. I have guests from around the world. Yes, I have a couple of guests from the northern part of Nigeria. I have my friends from Kano. They are here with us. I have Richard. Richard is all the way from Richard is a Ghanaian, he's a lawyer, and he's based here in the UK. And I know we're going to have more people joining us tonight. But I'm going to let them introduce themselves because if I go into the introduction, we're going to be here all night. But this is what I say. This is going to be a show where we talk about Africa, where we talk about how we can move the continent to the next level. Most of the time you see us using Nigeria as a case reference because if Nigeria succeeds, then I think the rest of Africa can emulate. But as it is right now, I think Nigeria is a very, very bad example. I'm sorry to say that. What a way to start the show. Okay, let me keep those kind of negative comments and hope that we can move this nation to the next level. And that is what it is. So today's topic is titled The United States of Africa. And it's actually the gospel of Kwame Nkrumah. That is what I like to call it, the gospel of Kwame Nkrumah. What was Kwame Nkrumah? What does that man stand for? That's some of the things we'll take a look at on this show. But if I wait too much time, I'll be keeping my guests waiting. I can't afford to do that. Let me quickly introduce some of them right here, right now. I have this big man with me, Richard. Richard is all the way from the beautiful coast. Listen, Richard, it's your countryman we are talking about. Kwame Nkrumah. He's the gospel of Kwame Nkrumah. How are you doing, Richard?
Well, very well. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. Anytime I have you, I feel confident. I am always, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. And also, we have on the platform right now is listen, it's gonna be a great day. I have Muhammad Awar Suleiman. Let me see what I can quickly add him on the show. Yes, he's right here, right here, right here. Muhammad, a very good evening, sir. Yeah, your sound is a very, 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 very thin.
Oh, can you hear me now? Good evening.
Yes, now we can hear you. Now we hear you very well.
Maybe I have. So thank you. Good evening, Richard. Good evening, Daddy Chris, and good evening.
Good evening.
Here in the north we call him our father.
Okay.
Sharifai.
Yes, he is on the platform. I think he's having some technical issue, but he will soon join us. Yeah.
Okay.
What we'll do is we'll get on with what we can until we have Alhaji join us. But let's talk. The topic is the United States of Africa. And this was what Kwame Nkrumah, what he preached. In fact, that man lived and died in Africa. To the extent that on the day Ghana gained independence, he said something very, very, very unique. He said the independence of Ghana, of the Gold Coast then, is meaningless until the rest of the African coast have been liberated. And here we are today. Did we forget that dream or not? So let me start with Richard. Richard, let's quickly jump on you because you might be able to give us a deeper perspective on this. What do you understand? Who was Kwame Nkrumah? What was that gospel all about?
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you for the rest of the panels and everyone who will be privileged to have them listening to us this evening. It's my pleasure to be here all the time, every time.
Yes.
First of all, I'll just quickly jump onto the subject and first congratulate the current government of Ghana in the first place for a tremendous and a monumental decision they made to change the international airport of Ghana.
Good.
Since the 1966, when the traitors of Africa, not Ghana,
yes,
the traitors of Africa, who removed the vicious, the vision man, the savior,
Yeah.
the brain behind what was supposed to be stopped today in 1966. Unfortunately, dumb enough, we kept his name on the most monumental structure of Ghana,
All right.
where every international person will pass through before they see Ghana. I mean, in a
Yes.
normal way. That's the airport.
Yes.
And gratefully, this current government, who has been less than 2 years in power, have been boldly, even it wasn't part of his manifesto or policy, but
Yeah.
have listened to common sense and have reasoned to common sense and have changed the name. Congratulations to the government today. Not to
Congrats.
say
I'm proud of Ghana. I'm proud of Ghana. It
to
was
change
nice
that
to
name.
see where
Yes.
the airport is. Let's get it clear. Is the airport named after Kwame Nkrumah now?
The airport is not named after Kwame Nkrumah, but it was named after the person who overthrew Kwame Nkrumah, the person who betrayed Africa. The
Okay.
airport was named after them when I think they stayed in power for just a year, and because they were killed at that airport, which Kwame Nkrumah built, that person's name had remained on it until recently, a few months ago, when the name was officially changed to International Airport. Now, what the government has done is they've done something not to bring too much of politics in it. So
Yes.
they left the name as International. The decision of whoever comes will rely on some sort of consensus to find out whether Kwame Nkrumah's name should remain on it, should come back on it, or it can be neutral, or it can be International Airport. But the
All right.
fact that that disgrace, the awakening of the realization of these people who removed Kwame Nkrumah now seeps deep into the continent of Africa is only people who I would say they are non-political, who might find it normal. Anyone who is political, who is Pan-African, anyone who reasons with common sense will understand definitely this has been a curse on Africa, on Ghana, and has never been a common sense thing. It has never been wise for all the programs, the vision Kwame Nkrumah had not for Ghana. Because I put it this way: if Kwame Nkrumah's vision was for only Ghana, he might have lived longer.
Yes.
His
That is
vision,
true.
he was shortened not because of Ghana, but
Yes.
because of the vision of the whole Africa. As he
That's true.
said, the independence of Ghana was meaningless without that of affecting the whole of the continent. And you can see it. You can see how it is. I don't want to go into more about what he did. I've just mentioned about the airport, and I'll quickly jump to his most famous preaching of the NEO, the
Yeah.
neo-colonization. That is what he feared. He feared neo-colonization very much. And it's like when we talk about prophecy, this is to the
He was
Christians.
a prophet, man.
He's a prophet.
He was a
Because
prophet.
a
Yes.
prophet is someone who says something without any conditions, without any knowledge, without anything, and it will
Yes.
come to pass. This was what he said. The other day, I saw Tinubu with the French Prime Minister and the rest, and they were laughing and all that. And I knew the way, we all know the way it works in time, how they get into it, how they go and come back from behind. But in time, we as I've made a little bit of introduction about the state of the state of why African unity have not been realized today. On the basis of the main brain behind it is this is a little bit of introduction I would like to put forward. I'd like to put forward.
All right. Thank you, Richard. Thank you very much. And for those of you, if you're at home or you're with us tonight, the question is, who is Kwame Nkrumah? Do you know anything about him at all? You know, my hero, in fact, my hero and my hero remain a man called Marcus Garvey, who inspired Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah is the one that actually carried that gospel and preached it all through Africa. The man lived and died united Africa. And what he was talking about then is what we are going through now. I'm very sure my guests will have a lot to say. But let's quickly give the platform to Mohammed. Mohammed, you are on mute right now. If you can unmute your system and then talk to us and give us, because Nigerians, it's like we don't really, I don't know whether whether those of us in Nigeria are really very much aware of the dynamics of Africa and how much we played in this role. What do you understand by that? What do you know about Kwame Nkrumah? Let me put it that way, sir.
Thank you so much, Daddy and Richard, for
Can you see can you put
taking
the
to
phone
us
closer to your
about
mouth?
Kwame Nkrumah
Mohammed, we
dream.
can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? I say
Yeah.
thank you so much, Chris and Richard,
Yes.
for the brief introduction about the situation in Ghana and then what Kwame Nkrumah dreamed for Africa. And I love the fact you said, had it been Kwame Nkrumah dreamed for only Ghana than
No.
he. Kwame Nkrumah is a leader of Africa, if you will permit me to say so. I don't see him as a leader of Ghana. I see Kwame
Yes.
Nkrumah as a leader of Africa. I want to tell you that my grandfather, who is in very, very, very remote area of Jigawa State, knew about Nkrumah. I want to tell you, until today, there is no electricity, there is no internet connection. They had pipe-borne water, but there is no road network. But he is aware of Kwame Nkrumah as a leader of Ghana. So I want to tell you, especially, I don't know of the South very well, but people from the northern part of Nigeria sees Kwame Nkrumah as a counterpart, or let me say a party of the late Sardauna of Sokoto, that is late Ahmadu Bello Sardauna of Sokoto, who is the first premier of northern Nigeria, late Tafawa Balewa, the first prime minister of Nigeria, Sir Azikwe, and Awolowo. They are in the same category. They are the Pan-Africans. They are those with the mind thinking that Africa can be one together and grow together and then come out of the then colonization and dream for the Africa not to face what we are facing today, just like what you mentioned neo-colonization. Regrettably today, what Kwame Nkrumah said for Africa is in place.
Yes.
Because if I will say it more in a layman's language, we are getting colonized the second
Again.
time. If you allow me to say it again in the layman's language, the economic colonization. If it is not China, it is France. If it is not France, it is the US. So if you look at it that way, now France have lost grip of Niger Republic, Chad, Burkina Faso.
In fact, Muhammad is taking us on a very beautiful journey there, and the knowledge is quite deep. Yes, Kwame Nkrumah, Richard, you said it all. Had Kwame Nkrumah lived, or I mean, he was already a president. You know what really surprised me was the amount of passion, the dedication. In fact, the speech he made, and when they actually, that was the betrayal. The betrayal of Kwame Nkrumah was not only in Ghana alone. I think the rest of Africa betrayed him. You know, because Kwame,
Can you hear me?
yes. Are you back? Yes. Mohammed, we are with you. Maybe I should
Yes,
let you
I'm
finish.
back.
Go on.
Yes, I am back. Yes.
Go on. Go on. So let's let you close there. Unfortunately, the network won't allow Mohammed, but we are here. We are here tonight because the topic is hot and it is trendy and it is important. It's as important as Africa itself. It's as important as the black race itself. Go on.
Yes, it is. Let me say this. The late Maitama Sule Damasanan Kanu, may his soul rest in peace, mentioned something about Africa, trying to explain the place of Nigeria in the liberation of countries such as Angola, Mozambique, and Sierra Leone. Now, if we are talking about Kwame Nkrumah, it's like we are talking about the history or the finding of Africa, of Africa by the Europe, or not finding of the Africa by the Europeans. I don't know if the network have allowed me to make
yes,
yeah, you did. Yes,
can hear you now. Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah.
So now if you look at it, but I'm getting scared day by day. I don't want to say it, but I have to say it because that is the fact from my perspective. If you look at the leaders in Africa today, they have been unable to come together as one to focus on one problem because in one way or the other, they know that that leader from that country is corrupt in so way, and I, that I am from this end, I am corrupt in this way. So when corrupt A and corrupt B,
Yes.
they know that they are both corrupt. So they will not agree because they are scared so that they should not go and then do something. Okay, for instance, let me give you a good example. If Mr. A and Mr. B once connive to cheat Mr. C, if any day Mr. A or Mr. C is calling for Mr. A, okay, please come, let's do something so that we can help Mr. B. Mr. A will be scared because he remembered how they come together to cheat Mr. C. So I think that is the problem with Africa today. If you look at Nigeria, is it Nigeria that they call the giant of Africa that other African countries will be proud to associate self with? If you look at Ghana, now is it issue of corruption? I remember reading a book written by Aikoyama, The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born. I remember, I
Yes.
don't know, Richard, if you read that.
It's a good one. Yes. Mohammed, go. All right, while Mohammed is on, how the network work. Let me see whether we can quickly add Amisu. Amisu is a veteran. Okay, for those of you, if we can hear his voice for 1 minute, we'll be celebrating tonight. But unfortunately, his network and the system is not helping. But we're still with Mohammed. Mohammed, are you there? All right, like I said, this is the beginning, and we're going to get better by the time we come back again. It's a new system. We're all getting used to it. Don't forget, I'm in London. Richard is in London, so we can boast of light and network. It's not, unfortunately, it's not exactly the same in Africa, which is why which informed the topic we are talking about today, the United States of Africa. Had Africa unite, had the dream of Kwame Nkrumah, had we listened to Kwame Nkrumah, had we listened to the cry of Bob Marley in that beautiful song, Africa Unite, perhaps we will not be where we are today. And that is why I wanted to really throw that question to the veteran. I wish I can get the veteran for 1 minute. We'll be celebrating. All right. Let me just take him out first. If they can get him back, will be amazing. You see, what really, Barrister Omar is also here with us. So what I really want us to trash again, if you may, is what would have been the importance or the benefit of having a United States for Africa, which is the dream of Kwame Nkrumah. Richard, let's hear from you again before we come back to
right. Let me go back to a little bit of a time behind. Talking about the confidence, the vision, and the whole idea, mentality behind how Kwame Nkrumah got to where a lot of Africans know him to be. Remember the times he went to the United States for education, the time he was in England for education. These were times of the racial segregation and the things that he saw firsthand. So you could see where the enthusiasm is coming from.
Yeah.
And him not being a selfish person, a greedy person, he had every opportunity to work in US or England,
enjoy himself,
and live a better life. But he decided to take the pains of the times of segregation and all these problems to know that Africans don't have a place in anywhere else on the world apart from the continent of Africa. True. This is where the inspirations came from. So he knew there was no point of him having a bank account in England or United States. There was no point of him building a house, buying a house in England or United States. Everything he would ever have would have been on the continent and the soil of Africa. So on him returning to Africa, he had the vision and he knew he was not going back anywhere else because he had no home anywhere apart from Africa. Now, if we come to the full vision of Kwame Nkrumah when he became the president. I don't want to talk about when he was a prime minister in Ghana, but he became what we came to know him for when he was actually a president. He saw it. He saw it like plain and clear. The unity of Africa was going to take the enemy away. It's a common principle in life that if you come together, it's very difficult for an enemy to penetrate. If you are dispersed, enemies can easily penetrate. We all know after how many years, several years now, several decades, that we know it was the CIA who conspired with the military in Ghana to overthrow Kwame Nkrumah. We all know now that there were African leaders who were in support of this agenda.
Of course.
So now we come to the question of why would an African leader, we understand the point of view from the United States, who are to say our adversaries. So
they're protecting their interests. Yes,
of course. But we don't have a problem with people who protect their interests. We have to also protect ours. This is where the balance is. But I don't want to divest. I want to go straight to where the important part is. The important part is why would a citizen of the continent of Africa, whose future will depend on whose children and children's future will depend on a vision by an African, something that will be built on the soil of Africa, something that have come to stay in Africa, something that will benefit the Africa in the future. It's very simple. Like Mohammed said, if things get better, if too many of the African leaders get better, if their attitude get better, if the laws start working, if their balances, their checks, the few apples will have to be removed. The few bad apples will have to be removed. So when these adversaries come, they don't come to the good ones, they come to the bad ones. So the bad ones will lead them to the good ones to be able to destroy it further. The unity was not about taking another alien. The Europeans, the Americans, we didn't have Chinese then. The Japanese maybe to take them out. This was because we would be self-sufficient. Kwame Nkrumah used to make mention of the self-sufficiency of Africa. The self-sufficiency. The main advantage was self-sufficient. We will concentrate on what we have. And we will use what we have. And I can tell you, in 1966, Ghana was 70% had built its nuclear power. We had a nuclear power fully built before 1970.
That was why he must die, man.
That's why he
can understand. Yes, so that's why he must die.
Imagine a full about 90% capacity of nuclear energy in an African country.
Yes.
This will be transferred to Nigeria. This will be transferred back to Egypt, because the Ghanaian one started earlier and was far advanced than the one in Egypt. The Egyptian one was made by Europeans, adversaries. Our one was not made by Europeans. It was made by Chinese and the Russians. These are the people we collaborated with. In fact, the figure says there were about 87% of Ghanaian scientists in there. There were only supervisory of about 13% left from the rest of the Eastern Europe. So you can see where we were going to. And Kwame Nkrumah never stopped short of considering the importance of Nigeria, the importance of Egypt, the importance of Sudan. These were pillars of Africa. These countries were the pillars of Africa. He was not too much interested in South Africa as a country, because up to today, myself, I don't consider South Africa as part of Africa. I'm sorry, it's physically on the continent, but I don't consider it part of Africa for purposes we all know. So you could see the importance and the benefits that someone saw more than nearly 60 years or over 60 years ago. This is what we are still looking for.
Exactly.
We are still looking for unity, not for the unity, but for the development. These current old racks we have now are preaching secularly about the destabilization of existing national sovereignty. If you go to a train in Cali, if you are a train in Cali or Paris or Amsterdam or Milan, wherever you find yourself, when you see a white person, do you want to know whether they are Romanian or they are British? You don't want to know that. Everyone goes home to their family, and everyone is proud of their families. Why do we have to know someone is a Bantu? Why do you have to know someone is Asante? What are you going to do with that? Why do you want to know someone is a Yoruba? Why do you want to know someone is from Sokoto? What are you going to do with that? The Europeans have one color. Africans have one color. That should be enough. What the point is,
our identity.
You can't take that away. You can't take that away. If you meet a Caucasian white in Paris, if you are interested, you have to ask them where you from. You have to ask them where you from. They can be Russian, they can be American, they can be British, they can be French. If you see a black this color, you don't need to ask where they are from.
They're from Africa.
They are from Africa. This is the point of where we have lost. We lost it there. If you take it into consideration, during the time of between the 1957 or let's say the 1950 all the way up to about the 1970, there were only about less than 2% of African leaders, if I should call it,
let me see what I can analyze
who had anything to do with savings in any Western country. And I am very proud to tell you, Kwame Nkrumah died with his salary, as anyone would spend it in his bank account. He didn't have a house. The house he left with his mother was given to him as a gift. He didn't have a house. He didn't have a farmland. He had nothing. All he had was his books. That is the selflessness he left for Africa. And all he continued to say is, be careful of the neo. The neo is what we still live in now. The unity, the unity would have bring prosperity, immense prosperity, the fear and the togetherness. The togetherness that leaders of today have deliberately weaponized. They've weaponized it in such a way that we are going to lose the identity of the people of Sokoto. We are going to lose the identity of the people in Asante, the people of Burundi. What do you need that for? We don't have Burundi. Burundi is a name given to us by someone anyway.
Exactly. What is Burundi? What is Nigeria?
What do you lose?
What are these things? Where's Ghana? Gold Coast. You see?
This is some of the few important. The main important thing he envisioned was the unity of Africa, and then every other thing will come on top of it.
Yes. Thank you, Richard. And I want to see if Alhaji can join us first. It would be great. Alhaji, are you with us?
Yes, I hear you exactly.
Yes,
I have a system. Okay.
And talk to us. We can hear you loud, and we can manage whatever. Your voice is expensive, so let's have your voice alone. Don't worry, sir. Unless you can't hear
you see, I'm now using my cell phone. Instead of the system is refusing to pick up. So I heard Madam Muhammad, when he was discussing about late Kwame Nkrumah, but I didn't get you fully. So I don't know if you have any other question to ask. I will be willing to start with it. Yes.
In fact, I know you are very much aware of the period of Kwame Nkrumah. You must have read that in history as well. My question is, what was the fear of our leaders? I mean, the rest of the African continent, not to cue in with this beautiful vision which the man was preaching, the United States of Africa. Why were they afraid? What was their fear?
Well, to call it United States of Africa, you are talking about people who understand each other and they agree on a common goal, which they intend to pursue.
Yes.
But the unfortunate thing is the colonial system, which disturbed our historical condition, is fragmented itself. The French are in one place, the Portuguese in another, the British in one place. You see, there is no unity from the word go. Everything has been fragmented. And those who knew will understand that these people, the colonialists, they are not here to help you grow. They came to exploit and disturb. And they are in themselves, they are not organized. Everyone is pursuing his own interest. But you see, to speak of United States of Africa, you are talking of a unified people. like I said earlier, with a common understanding and a common goal, which you intend to pursue together. Look, before the colonialists came, Nigeria, at least northern Nigeria and Nigeria, are the same thing. You speak Hausa, largely you share the same culture and understanding. But see, they draw a line. Now I can't speak to a Niger Republic man because he's speaking French and I'm speaking English here. Even our Hausa has been incapacitated such it cannot join me with my brother in Niger. You see? So I think if anybody wants a United States of Africa, you can start to plan for it. Because you had to scrap away the European influence, which has fragmented us, and then you can start building from the scratch. But at this level, to come to talk of United States of Africa with this fragmentation, I don't think it will be a good project. Because like we are here today, Niger, Cameroon, Chad, say Burkina Faso and others, they are all talking a different language, different approach to world view, different economic activity. A lot of borders that have disrupted, the continued relationship that has been existing for hundreds of years. It is very sad. We can't just suddenly come and start unity like that. Unity requires a very solid understanding. If you look at the European history itself, when did they start to think they are together? It's just maybe after the World War II. Before then, they are fighting each other. They are disjointed. They are looking a different way. Their understanding, their worldview is all different. Even though you can see.
All right, that is Alhaji talking us through some of the challenges that we currently face.
They grow from the same root, but look how fragmented they are, how they are fighting each other. There is no understanding. So this is the situation here today. Colonialism has devastated us. We are still trying to understand.
And perhaps what Alhaji said now, yes,
if I may,
that we shouldn't allow it to stay long. We shouldn't get to that stage. We should unite now. The man was saying, do it now, because by the time we get into being Nigeria, being Ghana, being this, and some people become president, it will be difficult for them to give that sweet power which they already have. Perhaps that is one of the things Alhaji is saying.
We have already been, the problem has already set in.
Yes.
If look at Nigeria itself, which is supposed to be the golden example of unity in Africa, but look at the level of misunderstanding in between different languages. You see, for example, the Hausa, the Yoruba, the Igbo. Now, over 60 years from the Civil War, up to now, we haven't yet sat down and have an understanding as to how can we put together and come up with a unified program that will make you feel, yes, you are a true Nigerian. Up to now, look at the government itself. Even this government, look at it. They are behaving very much like local, like a local people, without regard to all the others. We are in a very difficult situation, honestly. Unity, even in a country like Nigeria, or even in some other countries like, say, Rwanda, like Congo, still there are these indigenous language clashes, cultural clashes, which hasn't been addressed. And even if you want to bring something new, nobody knows it now. This democracy we are operating, nobody understands it. Look at the United States, look at UK, see the kind of problem they are in. So how about us who wanted to look at them and copy? And I don't believe that we shall be copying from somebody. We are intelligent enough because our history says everything. We are civilized for a long time. Very long time. In fact, we are the beginning when you are talking of a long time in civilization. But even the recent history, like when you go back to say 15th century, 14th century, 16th, 17th, 18th century, most of our people here, some of them are ahead of the European countries before the colonialists come and destroy everything. So if what they brought in called civilization, it's not up to what you have, what was destroyed among you. What was destroyed in our culture is higher than the kind of civilization they are trying to ask us to copy. We don't understand what they brought. Yes. Not only that we don't understand it, but our own, some of us actually, because I read a lot of history, honestly, I look at the history of civilization since, I can say, if we look at the fall of Roman Empire, you start looking at how this nation state started. You can see that there is nothing that this person who is who is showing that he is the one who is leading the world, that he is civilized, he is the most sophisticated person. If you look at him, you remember how your people worked. You look at Egypt, you look at Ethiopian civilization, you look at many others, look at Timbuktu, look at Morocco, look at Egypt and others. I think if we put ourselves together and think properly, I can guarantee you we can come up with something better. But if we want to continue to mimic, to copy like parrots, we will never go anywhere.
Thank you very much. And I'm gonna leave this with Mohammed. Mohammed, you see where I like that. What Ghana? I know these are some of the things we're talking about. And we listening to Kwame Nkrumah, all these things would have come to bear. But now we are here. We are here now. So what Elijah is saying is that look at where we find ourselves. I mean, that brings the discussion. It just moves forward. I wanted to go slowly before I get here. But now look at where we are. We are in a mess. How do we get out of this? Especially now that our current system of government is copied. Our economy is copied. Our culture is copied. Our religion is copied. How do we get out of this?
Chris, yes. Can you? I think Kamisu has finished talking. Can you mute him?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yes.
Okay, but right. I think I just want to add something to what Elijah said.
Okay.
Elijah was saying we don't understand the democracy we are operating. But if you allow me, I will tell you that the Europeans or the colonial masters deliberately organize and set up the democracy in a confused manner, in a way that we don't understand it, we will not understand it, and we will continue to operate in dark. I want you to look at the democracy we are saying we are copying. Today, we cite example with the United States in Nigeria. If you live in the land, will tell you that in the US or so and so, this is not how they operate, this is how they operate, that is how they operate. But in reality, if you look at it, what they brought to us is quite different from what they do. They tell us, okay, drink red wine, we will drink another wine. Or yes. Red wine is what you should drink, but they will go back and drink something different. So I want to tell you, from my perspective, it is a deliberate effort to get us confused so that they can continue to steal what God has given to us. I had got the opportunity to speak with Professor Bubenamewa. He is in the University of Tech Anta Diop in Dakar, Senegal. He said only the God-given water in Africa, the natural water God gave Africa is enough for other superpowers in the world to envy Africa and to get us confused. I am still in confusion that why do our political leaders or aspirants in Nigeria, I don't know of Ghana, Richard, maybe you will educate me later about this.
Yes,
if this is Chatham House.
Yes.
You look at it, Anybody contesting president in Nigeria, they will run to Chatham House to go and talk. What are they going to say in
I
Chatham
don't
House?
know. Good question.
Those that are going to vote for them, are they in Chatham House? Why are they going to Chatham House? Who are they talking to? The people they are talking to are here in Nigeria. Those that
That's a
will vote
good
for them
question.
are in Nigeria. So you see, all these issues, very relevant issues, start asking ourselves.
Mohammed, put the phone in your mouth. We can hear you better. We can't afford to miss what you're saying. We cannot afford to
Uh-huh.
miss that.
So can you hear me now?
Better, yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
I can
So
hear
what
you
I am
better. Yeah.
saying, what I am saying is,
Yes.
you see, for us to understand
Right. Anyway,
a choice,
Richard,
it is not a choice, it's a must that we have to know where we come from. And for instance, in Nigeria, where I know better, especially northern Nigeria, we have institutions before now. We pay tax. We call it haraji. We
exactly.
pay tax after harvest, generally, where we pay zakat. Islam was in northern Nigeria for long. You understand? So we have a system where the Sarki is a supreme leader. The Sarki will appoint Imam. We have people under him. We have a structure. But they destabilize the structure. They gave us what is called democracy. They made us to start fighting one another. They made it look like we all can one day stand up and become leaders. But how many people in Nigeria or in Africa have risen with the spirit of Pan-Africanism and become leaders in Africa? This is a question, and it needs to be not even a national question. It should be a regional question where all African countries should come together and ask, why is it that if you have somebody willing to do the right thing in Africa, he will not get to the power? I don't know, Richard.
And
If
if
it
he get
happens,
there, they will
it is
kill
the
him
same
quick.
thing in Ghana.
Even if he gets
In
there,
Nigeria,
he's gonna
the
die.
good men to reach the power.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, if I quickly jump in, I want to clarify something, right? There's come a time of the politicians and adversaries. We will not forget about the immense importance of the media, the musicians, the artists. When I say artists, I mean musicians.
Yes.
Their contribution to international development in the western part of the world, which by far our side have been much incapacitated. They are very much sidelined. They are not part of the process. But if we will be fair with ourselves, these are the people with the mouthpiece. They have the audience to talk to. We know about Bob Dylan. We know about McCarthy. We know about all the enormous of them who have made changes in the Western social lives, the human rights acts that exist here today. Anyway, that is just a topic for another day. The point Hamisu and Mohammed was making are very, very important, and these are things that were done deliberately. Make no mistake, we will not sit here today in 2026 to think someone tried something and it worked. No, these divisions were made deliberate. I am a Ghanaian. A lot of people who are not very much aware of the geographical map of Africa believes Ghana and Nigeria share borders. That's what a lot of people think.
Yes.
Just because of the cohesion
Language.
in
Yes.
Ghana, the language.
Yes.
We come from two countries in between us before you get to Nigeria. And I'd been very, very much comfortable and happy when I'm in Nigeria than I'm in Togo, which is the next door, which
Yes.
I'm talking about. I can walk from a land in Ghana and be in Togo without knowing I'm in Togo.
Yes.
But as soon as I meet a Togolese, they see me as an alien. and I will hope you try it one day to see exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
This is an experience. This is not something that is being told. And the irony is the border between the immediate border between Ghana and Togo, we have the same ethnic group living on both sides. They speak the same language, and in some places there's only a mesh wire. A mesh wire, you know I'm talking about a mesh wire.
Yes.
is dividing it. Some people are going to their farms from Togo to Ghana every day.
So
Others are going from Ghana to Togo every day. This is the atrocity the Europeans did to Africa. We were sleeping then. We are still sleeping. It was not a coincidence. It was a deliberate calculation to permanently divide us. This is what we need. We, the Africans, the youth, the leaders need to understand. Those borders, those divisions, the change of languages, why they put Ghana to speak English, why they put Nigeria to speak English and put Cameroon to speak French, why they put Niger to speak French and left Nigeria inside. On the left of the border, which is Benin, they speak French. This is the fundamental thing we need to understand. It is no coincidence. It's a deliberate thing they did. Apart from the demarcations, they made a language. The language have deliberately and systematically eroded our tradition and our cultures. We think we celebrate it. We celebrate it. We don't celebrate it. We just remember it. African culture, a lot of African cultures have been eroded over the past 50 years. It's a few of them we remember now. These are facts. These are historical facts. There's no two ways about that. You see, if you look at it properly, a lot of the English-speaking countries still hold on to some dignity. The English-speaking countries. If you look at the wars going on in Africa, these are facts. These are not any high-level investigations. If you look at the wars going on in Africa, it's mostly concentrated in the French-speaking countries because the French succeeded in eroding every culture, every tradition. That was a purpose. The moment, if we do not stop thinking, someone has done something and gone. So the effect is not still there. We are still going to live in the peril. What they did was supposed to incapacitate Africa permanently. The earlier we identify the fact and the effect of why they made those lines, they drew those lines without consulting the nationals. Look, like Baba was saying just now, Hamish was saying just now, it is clear why do we have Niger and we have Nigeria? Why? If you have to go far.
Yes. We
have Niger, we have Nigeria. Yes. If you go to the north, there is absolutely nothing to tell you that these people are not the same. Nothing.
Nothing.
Yes, we are the same.
Yes.
And I can tell you today, because of the coexistence between the eastern part of Ghana and the western part of Togo, these are the same people. They speak the same language. Today, they speak the same language. When I am from the south, the southeast, the southwest, if I go there, I'm an alien. When they come there, they speak the same language. The same. They don't have to speak French. They don't. This one don't speak English. This one don't speak French. They can talk to each other. Good. They move in and out just like that. If I get to the border, they can speak their language to the guards at the border, and they walk in free. I have to show some sort of ID. You see, the preaching, and I'm afraid the takeover of where people need to be educated, which were supposed to be the platforms we have tend to be the Christian platforms, which is self-incriminating and damaging. The gospel, according to the destruction, is not according to the gospel of Christ. No. Where the mouthpiece is for people to have the advantage of understanding what these people did in the late 1800s. The ruler division, where they put rulers cutting across countries, left, right, and center, without considering even the ethnic cohesion, coexistence. It is not a deliberate thing. This is what I didn't want to go further into the importance of what Kwame Nkrumah wanted to do, but it is a fundamental issue we need to understand. If we think these people made a mistake, we will be joking. Yes. We know what they do in GCHQ in England. We know what they do there. We know what they do in Amsterdam. We know what they do in Paris, in Milan, in Germany. They have an agenda, a permanent agenda. We're not talking about someone who have come, taken and gone. When they send only the French today, and you see them laughing, it is no coincidence. It's not the goodness of their heart. It is a plan. People, intelligent people, have sat down to think about how they're going to pursue this. Now, like Mohammed said, they lost Niger, they lost Burkina, they lost Mali. How are we going to come back? How do we come back? How do we come back? We have to come back from within. We cannot come back from outside.
Yes.
They can't come back from Ghana. They can't come back from Nigeria. But we're going to have to try. How are we going to try to come back from one of these places? We're going to use one of their own. Which one does the people don't like? Is it Tinubu? Is it the Ivorian leader?
Yes.
Is it the Ghanaian leader? Which one does the people don't like? That's the one we are going to support.
That one we're going to use.
That's how we're going to get in. There is a colonial, how do you call it, textbook? It worked. It worked. It's deliberate because we don't have a think tank. We don't have a think tank to think about the problem. We don't have a think tank. We don't have think tanks. You see,
there's a story. There's a story I heard from
one of the things that will help us out of this situation is education. You know, I studied human civilization for quite a number of years, over 5,000 years, human civilization. And I saw one single variable which helps civilization, which helps nations to rise up and become good civilizations that advance human society. It is the society that took education. And education, as we all know, is a matter of language and culture. Until we stop using European languages in our education, we will never be able to be properly educated. So, I think
we're not looking at solution.
You reminded me of an incident.
That's a tough one.
Somebody said, you are speaking in Hausa, you are writing in English.
No, because you are 20 years behind. That's what we are doing. You are 20 years behind.
That was what my English teacher said to us back in
You are 20 years behind because you are not spoon-fed.
Yes.
This is a permanent thing.
If we look at European, for example, let me give you an example with Europe. French, Britain, Italy, Germany, Spain, Russia, Hungary, all these countries, none of them, not one of them is using the language of the other to educate his people.
Yes.
Then how come Africans will use European languages to educate themselves? That is important.
I will answer that. I will answer that. The reason is when we start, or if we try to write even our curriculum, because we go to IMF to take loans, they tell us that is a waste of time.
We need
because look, you go to China, these countries like Singapore, Indonesia, where
Malaysia, Indonesia,
Africa independence were even stronger and bigger. We were wealthy and everything. They have their own languages. They started from somewhere.
Exactly.
If someone wants to buy something from you, they're going to buy it from you anyway.
Yes.
We buy Chinese goods every day. They have the menu comes in English, it comes in French, it doesn't matter. If you do a good product, it doesn't matter which country did it.
Exactly.
Hello?
We need to learn. We need to understand. Our leaders need to understand. We have to start from somewhere.
And Richard, maybe, Richard, let me put it this way. But it is true that our leaders have tried. I want to give a very big instance here. Let me put this.
I didn't.
Let me remind you one thing. There was a time in Nigeria, we came up with First Tax 77, when the whole of Africa realized that we've been shortchanged. We need to have an identity. They came together and organized that big event in 1977. First Tax 77.
In which context? Look at the context it was done. It was completely under European context. It is useless. This is what I'm telling you. It's useless. You are just copying European performance, nothing more.
You see, what our problem has been is, and it looks like it's a continent-wide. Anything good we do, we do it on two pretexts. Two. It's always coming in twos. It's either a president's own good heart, a leader's own good heart, or an European initiation. None of them is sustainable. These two are not sustainable. What is sustainable is to back it by legislation. Let it come to stay. Instead of us taking our time, researching, developing and building things, we don't have time for that because we are looking for the next elections. It's only in Africa we do campaign after the next election. It's only in Africa.
In fact, our president started campaigning the moment he got into office. So I don't know he has to do. It's amazing. That's how it happened in Nigeria. It's a shame. I agree. And Mohammed, I'm going to come back to you. You're also very good. So I was trying to say that. So when I saw the vision of First Act 77, I'm asking now, what was the message learned? We came together, we gathered, we danced, and like Richard said, it was initiative of someone else. Because if there still has been First Act 77 till today, if Africans were still gathering on a yearly basis to celebrate, to dance, even if it is dance, we will learn something from there. We will ask questions. But it was one off, like Richard said, it was one off. And there's no education, nothing. Like I asked a question, I wanted to do a PhD program, and my research was going to be the African Bible. I'm looking at our history. Where is it?
So this is what I'm saying. We need education, and the education we need is not the European education. We need to sit down, our researchers, our scholars should sit down and start something original, in our paper, not this corrupted Europeans design, which will not take us anywhere. And like you said, First Act 77 is a cultural group. I understand it is a cultural group for dancing, for getting together and things like that. Education also is part of the culture, but it's distinct from the music and dance. And until we take music and dance, we will not move anywhere. We keep aside this useless educational curriculum designed for us in the last 100 years, which keep us here.
That's a full topic for a day. The education we inherited. In fact, we're coming to that on one of these shows. It's going to be the education we inherited. But before we run away, because we're just taking a general view today, because I'm sure only issue of First Act 77 will be a discussion for a full show. Mohammed, what do you have to say?
What I want to say is, I heard Elijah was saying we should task our scholars to write our history. But do you know that these scholars we have today, they need reorientation by the media. We have to tell them that what they think they are having in their libraries, what they have in their heads, what they have memorized in their brain and in their chest, is all stories written by the colonial masters. And they are doing that just to continue subjugating. It is just like the Karl Marx saying that the proletariat and the bourgeoisies. So we will continue to suffer if we continue to rely on the even the education.
Nobody want to hear that.
So let me tell you. Even if we ask them to write today, they are going to write the same thing. But the enlightenment from the media and pushing for cultural relevance. You understand?
Exactly.
Surprisingly, they said a first-class emir will have to seek permission from a local government chairman before he can travel.
Thank you.
Where do you do that?
Listen, I want Richard to talk to us here, because Richard, and I really want you, Richard, you taught me something. In England here, they teach us a different democracy and we don't practice it. And I really want us to take a look at it, Richard. The House of Lords, which is equal to our Senate in Nigeria, they can relate to that. They are undemocratic. Nobody voted for them. They are set of leaders. They call themselves landlords. That's why they call them House of Lords. They are landlords. They went there, and they remain there, and they inherit it. It's their culture. It's acceptable. Who are you to challenge?
The cheap feudalist.
But if we did not elect a senator, we are not democratic. We'll come to that. Number two, and what he said now, what is really so sad here is a king who owns the land, who's supposed to be the landlord in our case. They need a local government chairman permission. A local government, another local government chairman can dethrone a king who actually owns the land. Mohammed, you said something deep. And Richard, where is this democracy we are practicing?
Mohammed said something in his first submission when he mentioned the beautiful ones are not yet born. In fact, when Mohammed made that assessment,
Hello?
Chris, can you?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So when Mohammed made that assertion, it meant a lot of things. It meant a lot of things. We can go on. we can relate it to the we can relate it to the actual book, and we can relate it to our own destiny as Africans.
Yes.
The beautiful ones are not yet born, who mean some of the plans positioned by the Europeans have not yet been hatched. And I think this book was in the late 70s, right? I think it was written in the late 70s or so, or early 80s. You can see by that time.
I was referencing it with you. I was referencing the book to you in the early stage of this discussion today.
Yes. That's why I come back to it. So what I'm saying is the maybe the writer have a different purpose or a different meaning to it, but we can relate it today to our own destiny. The beautiful ones are not yet born because the beautiful plans of our colonizers have not yet been hatched. Can we destroy it before they are born? This is what we have today. We have churches.
And perhaps that's why I brought this topic. Perhaps that's why we need the gospel of Kwame Nkrumah to defeat them.
We have churches today.
That. Yes. So we need the gospel of Kwame Nkrumah now more than ever. Because the only way that's going to destroy, the only way we're going to be able to get out of this yoke or this cage where we find ourselves is the gospel of Kwame Nkrumah. And that's why I said we should start this show with it.
Can you see where the diversion of the many people, the many Pan-Africans, the people who have self-researched why Africa have not made the move towards the United States of Africa? You could see the mood have changed, and it did not change by chance. It changed by a plan. I continue most of the time when I am on TV making discussions. I don't want to be too academic. I want to be fundamental, so we can make sense out of it. Not something I only know or anybody who can read only knows. We are being eroded now with a vision. Is being eroded by churches. We are set back again by something else. If you take away the culture, this fragilization, the stabilization of traditions, the visionless move, the blind move, you can see where we are now. People's mind, the ideas have been taken to somewhere else. The vision to look for God. Now let's go on to where we actually got where we are lost from. Hamish was saying we cannot just jump to the creation of Africa, the United States of Africa. We cannot, because we are so broken that we cannot just put ourselves together. Don't forget, we have someone of self-imposed how do you call it sovereignty for us. Africa don't have sovereignty. We think we do have sovereignty, but we don't have sovereignty, and this is the reason why we think we cannot have it. You see, what we need, what the leaders who we need to do is to sit and think. We cannot go like this. We cannot. That realization must first come. We cannot go like this. How do we reverse this? How do we start reversing this? Do we have to match up on the times we are today, or we have to go back to the times of Kwame Nkrumah? That's the 1957 or the 1950 to 1966. Is that the time we need to go back and start from, or we need to capture where we are now, the time we are in now, to see what we can do? Because I tell you, if Hamisu said it is difficult, it will be unthinkable. to start thinking about African unity because we run away from it. We've gone too far away from it. The 1960s, when Kwame Nkrumah was saying it, we had structures. The colonizers' structures were not so strong. It was a bit shaky. Now it is strong. We know it is strong in Cameroon. We know it is strong in Congo. We know it is strong in South Africa. We know it is strong in the northern part of Africa. We know it is strong, very strong on the west coast of Africa. It is strong now. They put their pillars. They put their pillars around.
They are on ground.
There are African leaders. There are African leaders working tirelessly, and I will not take away Ivory Coast, who are working very, very seriously against the government of Burkina Faso. Okay, what has Burkina got to do with Ivory Coast? Why? Because there is this old man who promised to be in power for 4 years. He's getting to 60 years now. Okay, and this young man who came with the things he's doing is threatening him for no reason. This is what conscience do. It's about conscience. The person is not attacking him directly. The person is doing what he's supposed to do, and someone is not happy with it. Just not happy with it. There's been about 3 coup d'etats. It's not propaganda. 3 coup d'etats planned from Ivory Coast in the last 4 months. They all entered from Ivory Coast, not from the north, from Ivory Coast. So you can see until this is not going to come from the politicians. This will not come from the politicians. We need massive youth demonstration, protest with the need. The Africa does not belong to the leaders. I keep on saying this on this platform. The leaders of Nigeria, if you take leaders of Nigerian cabinet, the government, the Senate, whatever it is, they are not up to 2 million. If you combine all of them, they are not up to 2 million. How many? What's the population in Nigeria? So why can't the people decide what they want? Why should it be the government?
That Nigerians are, in 2006, they said Nigerians are 260 million.
260 million.
I'm sure we have to 400 million. We have to 400 million.
So
we are more than.
If the public sector.
We are in 400 million. Yes.
In 2006, I don't have anybody with me. Now I have only me. I'm added to.
If we let's say it's 250 million. If we have 250 million in Nigeria, the government, the public sector, all the government, the Senate, they are not up to 2 million. That is a fact. Why should we let less than 2 million people decide for the rest 250 million?
So Richard, let me ask this, because we seem to have one issue in Africa, which is the issue of leadership. I know that's where we're going to end this matter. But the question I ask is, now that we say this democracy, we don't understand it, we need our own. Do you think we need a dictator? And one man who say, hey, this is where we're going. This is how we're going to do it. Yes. And whether you like it or not, this is how it's going to be. Because maybe that's what we need.
Yes, when we say a dictator or a non-democratic government, right? Yes. These are terminologies some people have used to denigrate what they don't want, what they don't like. Because in a free so-called dictatorship government, it is difficult to influence from outside. That is a balance, because the rule of law is somewhat not parallel to the democratic system and a non-democratic system. I prefer to use the word non-democratic system, because the democratic system is someone's system. It's not a general accepted way of governance. Look at China. Look at the Chinese model. Chinese have their mojo, Japanese have their mojo, Italy have their mojo, French have their mojo, United Kingdom have their mojo. United Kingdom democracy is not the one we practice in Nigeria.
No.
You see? Because we have picked a bit from everywhere. We pick a bit from France.
We pick all the best.
And we are confused.
We pick the wrong ones.
Because we did not pick it. The wrong ones have been given to us. All the ones that create problems have been given to us.
We didn't pick it. They gave us.
Exactly. They gave us all the ones that create problems. Imagine if you go to Nigerian Senate.
Our children are going to ask us this question. Sorry, I'm going to cut it here. Our children are going to ask us this difficult question. We keep telling them they give us. When are we going to say no? Are we kids? Can we refuse it? When are we going to refuse it?
Anytime you have a platform to say the truth, you have to make it clear. We always identify the problems. The problem is not you, it's not me. The problem has been created long ago on our blind side. These people had a plan, we didn't have a plan. We did not oppose to anything. They had plans, and everything we are going through is according to their plan. We are doing nothing. So the earlier, the better we start changing things. Look, whether you like it or not, the youth, us, people have to die. I keep saying this. People have to go to the streets and die. People have to demand it. These people are living comfortably. They're not going to change it. They will not change it.
It's true.
They're living comfortably. Why would I change my comfortability?
But then, if I may come in, I think I can remind us that we as the media, we are the ones who shape society. If we can continue on this kind of course, discussing in a way that the society will understand, because as a media, you are even trying to teach the academia how to go about education the society, because it is, we have to come back to education, because education is the only guide that will help you to achieve your objective. And until the media go to the school and taught these teachers, these professors, we need to bring them out and tell them the course you are taking us on, the route, the path we are following is an outdated thing. Over 100 years, useless. It has been expired. It has expired long ago. We need to chart again.
Yes.
You know, so we need a new course. Let us sit together and discuss. We should stimulate the society completely, both the government, the media, the industry, the industry, and everybody in the society. It may look like impossible, but I'm telling you, this is how societies, how civilizations are born. If we continue on this course, I believe we are going to achieve something, even not in our lifetime. Behind us, people will continue and will come up with something new. After all, this civilization, even now we are in the course of declining civilization, because Western civilization is dead. It has been descending, it has been declining. We are trying to born a new civilization, and let Africa join the fray and come up with its own civilization, not a copy from an old and outdated one.
I cannot agree with you more. The issue of our education is something very funny. And in fact, the issue of our education is very funny. If you have the wrong curriculum.
Exactly. Wrong curriculum and wrong language.
Exactly. You know,
wrong language and wrong curriculum. You need to get them right before you achieve your objective.
Exactly. You know, and I give a very simple example. In Nigeria, they teach us what we don't need. Even on the societal basis, they teach us what we don't need. Why would you teach a child in Nigeria today we don't have theaters?
Exactly. You die with hunger.
Richard, let's really take a look at this. They said our system of education was bad, it was barbaric, it was primitive. But those people that go out to learn the act of fixing a car, they call them mechanics. They don't have a job. But those that graduate, that have a degree in engineering today, only 10% have a job. And
exactly.
Before you go on, let me just interdict a little bit here. What is the point? What is the purpose of being part of an association or a club? For a common goal, to serve a common purpose among yourselves or for someone else. So the question that comes in Commonwealth, for instance, the point of education is Commonwealth. What is the point in Commonwealth? Commonwealth that every village in England have got every amenity we are talking about. Commonwealth is what gives some people in Ghana no water for a whole year. This is Commonwealth. You see, you do not join associations because it gives you what? You join associations to give you something. From the point you are making now, if we don't start thinking, we have to start from scratch. We might not see the benefit of it from today.
Yes.
When the coup plotters of Kwame Nkrumah took over, they destroyed a lot of his writings and they demonized him. Do you know Kwame Nkrumah was in the Ghanaian history time? Sometimes some people know him as a fetish priest. That is how far they made him an evil. They created him as an evil. They made the propaganda of an evil person. A lot of his writings, some of them,
I think we just said that before, that any leader who would work for his people, who they think is going to lead you to liberty, they kill him. Look at Gaddafi, look at Abacha, look at Kwame Nkrumah, look at all the other uncountable number of people killed. There are so many others. You know?
Anyone who comes with a good idea and with a good intention,
they eliminate him. Yeah.
You should if you are ready, you should be ready and to have a succession plan. You see, I would divert a little bit here. You see the reason, we all know the reason why America did not succeed in Iran, because they have a succession plan, a very long succession plan that built behind there. If you kill 20 foreign ministers of Iran today, there will be a 21st one who is already prepared.
Yes,
this is the problem. So when you made mention of a non-democratic state, i.e., the dictatorship, okay? If a dictatorship, as it called, a non-democracy, have a good succession plan, you can't destroy it because the plan goes on. If China,
you see, I wanted commenting on this issue of dictatorship for a non-democracy, for non-democratic government. Do you know that even this term, dictatorship and non-democratic government, it is even colonization?
Yes.
Because when you have one man that have sense, one man that is patriotic, one man that is empathic,
that's
one man
that's enough.
It's enough for you. But
it's enough.
They gave it a very bad name so that we will not accept it. Say that dictatorship, it is non-democratic. So anything, a system of government must be democracy, and that is the kind of knowledge they are giving us, and that is the kind of understanding they want us to have, and that is the kind of way they want us to live. But I want to tell you, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Whether the tunnel is thin or the tunnel is not thin, but definitely there is light. Because people are beginning to see that they are not willing to help the Africans. And Africans have seen that at the end of the day, any leader that is in support of the Europeans, no matter how much he supported them, the day they finish using him, they will eliminate him. You can cite so many examples. There has never been any African leader that supported the Europeans and succeeded. The day he said, no, I want to do it this way, they will say,
yes,
the way we've been asking you to do that is how we want you to continue doing it. And the youth are responsible, or I want to say, are expected to take lead in this. The youths are expected to take lead in this by, educating themselves, number one, to know that they are Africans and the future of Africa belongs to Africans. We have our history. We must not wait for any other person from somewhere.
I agree.
I'd like to add something which it's a very small thing. We may take it as
I don't know how long is this program is supposed to last. It looks like we are well over 1 hour. We are getting to about an hour in
that. We are coming to the end.
Just before we end, I always have a something little to add on top of it from today's discussion. Good. And it means it looks like it always falls within it. It's just before this may be my last submission. we cannot forget about the little things that create the biggest problems. It appears Baba Hamisu will be able to give us a little bit of this about the change of scope, the change in the scope of the African mentality after we've gone through the colonization, pre-slavery, we've gone through the spread of democracy, supposed to be, and all this. Something else jumped in. That's something that jumped in is Christianization, the Christianization of Africa. That is where, just before we saw the tunnel, the light in the tunnel, like Muhammad said, something else came in that diverted us, and that was the Christianization. That was another way to dissuade us, to take us out of our conscience, our vision. We know this was not there. It came in. It's a disturbance. It created disturbance. The youth who are supposed to be spoken to, the people, the strong people, the intelligent people, the education people who are supposed to be able to be spoken to learn, to take the message forward, are in churches. They are in churches tonight. They will be in church on Sunday, on a Monday, on the days that people are supposed to be fruitful. This is setting us back. We cannot leave these things because it's not a little thing. The African leaders know these people are collapsing economies. I guarantee you, I have a full research over this. How pastors, church pastors are collapsing economies, the whole economies. How can a pastor buy a helicopter? What job is they doing?
Helicopter jets. This is a very sensitive topic. I suppose. Peter,
we're gonna have that one on the
because we are supposed to be speaking in terms of reason. Reason. But when you are talking of religion, you are partially touching an emotional aspect. And not everybody will understand what you are talking about. But the history of church, the history of all the relationships in the churches, in the mosques, and all other places is so clearly written. It's modern history. It's just like a report of media today. We can see clearly where things are changed, who changed what happened here, what happened there. I think that one will sort of distract us, and it will sort of.
I'll say this.
It's a very emotional country.
The attitude of the Muslim youth, the attitude of the Muslim youth is not the same as the attitude of the Christian youth, the so-called Christian youth. Okay, it's different.
Let us discuss more basic, more fundamental things that goes with reason.
We are trying to make the youth become fruitful and involved in our quest for the United States of Africa, for how we can deal with it. But we also have to talk about the things that stops them from thinking.
That's going to be on their way.
That stop them from participating. The things that have taken their mind off participating. They look forward to God. Look forward to going to heaven. We heard this many years ago. These are some of the things stopping them from thinking. I mean, they have to look forward to something else rather than looking to go to heaven. What are you going to heaven to do?
If we get our acts together, the youth will follow us. They don't have option. We are the ones who are supposed to guide them, because we know where we derailed, and we know how we are going back on the right path. So if we can put our acts together, get our scholars, wake them up from their slumber, let them think in modern terms, in reasonable and progressive condition, then I believe we can say we are on a right path. Until we do that, we'll be talking.
I think, that brings us the topic of today. The gospel of Kwame is the gospel of Africa. And the gospel of Kwame will not go short of the history. Go on.
I am not a Marxist. But I have read a lot about from the Marxists. You see, they said religion is the opium of the masses. I
And
understand
that was
very
from
well.
communist point of view.
No problem.
I know, I know. Those of us who are
Now, now,
communists,
now, now,
I hear you talking about when he
let
brought in
me
the
say
man,
this. Let,
the Kama story.
let
Yeah,
me make this clear.
yes,
The issue is, uh, you see, if you want to get somebody to do something, you have to definitely get him distracted with something. You understand? Uh, we have this kind of belief system in Africa where somebody will leave what he is supposed to do today, thinking about what will happen hereafter. But God that created us on this earth feel that we have to live. You understand? We have to do something, get something here before going to the hereafter. So I
exactly.
understand.
Let us live first. Yeah,
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
let us first live here, enjoy here.
exactly.
So when
When we
we
are,
go there,
This is what was
we
given
can
to us.
now do.
This was what was given
Uh-huh,
to us.
exactly.
uh-huh.
Let
So
us
This
get
was
it's
given
like,
ready
to us.
first. Eh,
What I was
let's
trying to
enjoy this one first.
what I was trying to tell Oga Baba Hamisu was that
Uh,
the
uh,
people we need, the people we need to protest, to discuss, to fight, they are in churches.
yes.
I'm not saying that, you know what, the people in the mosque will still have time to go to the mosque and come back to the protest, but the people in church will not have time to come to the protest.
like,
This
like
is
what?
what this is the point. It's not
Okay.
balanced. We don't have a
That,
balance.
that the
We
truth,
come to that.
that the truth you have to
Listen,
have it all
like
out.
Richard, you know why? You know why this is a very difficult topic. Nigeria is a very emotional country. Now,
Exactly.
if the people here are more Muslim than the Christians, listen, we're coming to that. We know where we're coming from. So that is why we're downplaying it. But I would rather follow the route of Muhammad, thinking how the communists actually plan a society. You understand? Let us think. Let us come together and build a nation. And like Kwame Nkrumah's gospel, it will not be go short of our culture, our history, that understanding, that education. Because when Kwame Nkrumah came, he set up the University of Technology. Because that was his mission, the education of the African in fact, if when you think the way the black man has been educated, the
By the way,
curriculum we inherited.
I'll tell you the site of the Ghana Atomic Program Agency that I told you about before the 1960. There are 2 churches on that ground now. 2 churches. If you can go, you can go on.
All right. So we don't need that. We don't need a foundation. We need the church. It's so interesting. Thank you very much. You know, I think we should take it a call it break today. And I really want to thank you all for joining. I didn't want to bring this gospel. I didn't want to bring this man in on time, but we'll be talking about him. That is Kwame Nkrumah, his vision for the United States of Africa. I want to give everybody one second to just say something about Kwame Nkrumah before we round up the show. What would you, if you want to say something to the children of today, what would you tell them about this man and why they should take this gospel to the next level? Let's start with Hamisu. What do you say to the kids? What will you say to them in very brief statement? And what Kwame said and what they should do?
Well, you know, as for me, I'm always thinking ahead of even the generation of Kwame Nkrumah. Look at Cheikh Anta Diop and look at what he did in terms of redeeming the image of Africa, to the extent that all civilization, all human beings started from Africa. So nobody should think he is ahead of me. I think I'm the father of all other cultures.
Amen.
And any leader from Africa who has the courage to challenge these white people who have been trying so hard to destroy us is supposed to be celebrated. So I celebrate Kwame Nkrumah. I celebrate many other African leaders who give their best and give their all, including their life, for the development of Africa, for its progress and for its defense. So on that, I say to my children, please, in your education, make sure you know your origin. and you are not below anybody. Your language is important like any other language, and your culture is also important like other cultures. In fact, your culture gave birth to all the other cultures.
Thank you.
So
you said it all. Thank you. That's a big one. Anyway, Mohammed, I know Mohammed is going to give us a little bit of the Babuzwas, the Kamas. What is it?
No. You see, I look at Kwame Nkrumah as a leader of Africa and not a leader of Ghana. So if I have the opportunity to talk to the entire younger elements, and when I say younger elements, I'm talking about the next generation, the younger generation, is they should look at Kwame Nkrumah as a leader of Africa. They should not just look at him as a Ghanaian, because his gospel does not only stop in Ghana. He died for Africa, he lived for Africa, he dreamed for Africa, and not only for Ghana. And he doesn't see Ghana as a boundary. He sees the race, the black, the color that God gave us, the beautiful black that God gave us as our identity and our culture that others are envying, the gift that God gave us in the land and that others are envying. He is for it. So we are for Kwame Nkrumah.
Thank you so much. It couldn't be better. All right, Richard, I know you.
Right. I will add a little bit to everything the two seniors have just said. In fact, recently the current president of Ghana made a speech, and he was saying something that resonates what Kwame Nkrumah was saying when he made the speech, that until the independence of the whole Africa, Ghana is emancipated or is spread through the whole of the continent. His one of the writings came up that he was actually referring to Nigeria, not to the whole continent, because the pinnacle and the biggest state he was referring to always was Nigeria, not to the African continent as a whole, because he needed more than two pillars to be able to make his vision work. Now, when we can see from years now, some leaders have started realizing, because some of the demonished books of Kwame Nkrumah have been coming up. We've known that some of the propagandas have been thrown away for us to know the true visions and the true person of Kwame Nkrumah, the late. So as leaders are saying exactly what Kwame Nkrumah was saying, as the whole of Africa, if it's not one, if it's not united, we will not get anywhere. Well, we need to go out and tell the people, when we have the opportunity to speak, we tell them the vision of Kwame Nkrumah is not dead as long as Africans or the black person remains. Until the continent of Africa remains in the hands of the black people, although it doesn't look like that now, but until we have it, the vision must remain the same, to get a united state for Africa. That is where we can truly define our own destiny. That is when we can truly manage our own destiny. Until then, no child will rest, no soul will rest until we achieve this. We tell them it's possible. We tell them if it's what is our vision, it's going to be possible. All we need to do is to find ways to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a good place to call off the show. Like I said, this is the beginning of it, and then from Monday you're going to get us more prepared. We'll fix our technical things right, and we'll be here ready to wine you. But the topic of today is very, very topical. It's very important, and it's still important for the future children. Kwame Nkrumah called for the unification of Africa. He called for the United States of Africa. One currency. To be honest, what is Naira? Cedis. In fact, the French don't even have a currency. The French Africans. Sorry, guys, you don't. You still believe in France. That's not a nation. We need to have one currency in that Africa. And that is what we're talking about, the United States of Africa. We need to have one army. We don't have a seat at the UN. We're 54 nations, not one seat.
We are not welcome.
We're not part of it.
We are not welcome.
We're not part of it. And if had Kwame Nkrumah created that nuclear weapon, I'm sure I would be on that seat now. because the only language they want to hear is, can you defend yourself? So
we need more than 5 seats at a time. We need at least 5. Considering the number of states we have, we need at least 5 seats. And if we had a seat, if we fight for the number of countries we have in Africa, this will make them give us the freedom to have the freedom of You see, if we had a seat, because if we had a seat, we will say no, one is not enough because we are over 52 states. We can't have only one seat. We need 5. What's the meaning of that? 5 means we are dominating. So why don't they have a United States of Africa? If they have United States of Africa, they will have 1. We need to fight from somewhere. We need to fight with something. We need to use something to fight. We need to think.
I know we're going to revisit this as we move on. It's going to be part of every discussion we'll be looking. As we look at the economy, as we look at the governance of Africa, I'm sure this issue of Kwame Nkrumah will keep coming in, and it's something we'll keep hearing as we talk about this show. But don't forget, we always try to use Nigeria as a case study because this is the giant of Africa. Like this man taught us, out of every 5 Africans is a Nigerian. So it's very important that Nigeria gets it right. You're like the big brother. What is going on right now is a shame. It needs to be there needs to be a turnaround. And I hope that this show will help us to talk to Nigeria. And hopefully, the young people will take out the right button from where we stop. Thank you very much. We'll be here again on Monday, same time. It's going to be 8 o'clock. This show is just kicking off today. And I just say, I thought we we're going to do only 30 minutes. Now we're here for more than 1 hour. Almost 1 hour, 40 minutes. That's not how we're going to do it. It's normally an hour, 20 minutes show, so that we get it right. So that we don't keep you too long on your seat. Thank you very much for joining us. Until we see you on Monday, please stay out of trouble and let the dream of Kwame Nkrumah be at the bottom, at the top, lift in your ears, in anything you do. Africa needs to unite. It needs to unite. We need to have one currency, one nation, with one foreign policy. So when they want to negotiate with Africa, they negotiate with us as a bloc. And then we'll have an economy. Thank God we are blessed. Can't wait to talk about this more. Thank you very much. Until I see you on Monday. God bless you. And thank you, people, for joining me today.
Nice meeting you, Mohammed.
Yes.
Take care.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Find your sanctuary in the heart of the city. Live the life you deserve in an exquisite apartment. SRTV Luxury Shortlet Apartment, Lagos, is a place where your comfort is rest assured. Welcome to SRTV Shortlet Apartment, part of the prestigious SRTV Real Estate family. Why choose us? Prime location, nestled in the heart of Lagos, close to key attractions, business hubs, and vibrant nightlife. Modern interiors, fully furnished, stylish apartments designed to provide the ultimate comfort. Luxury redefined, vacation perfected. 24/7 security. Enjoy peace of mind with round-the-clock security and CCTV surveillance. Top-notch amenities, high-speed Wi-Fi, smart TV, air conditioning, fully equipped kitchen, and lots more. Perfect for business travelers, family vacations, romantic getaways, special events, and more. Book your stay today